Who just spoke to me? Was that Alberta?
It was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my microphone turned off. How are you?
I'm good. It's wonderful to see you. It's strange to see so many people that I know that I usually am.
Very sorry, folks. I had to mute prematurely there as we are live on the internet and I wouldn't want to embarrass anybody. But if anybody wants to keep that chat going, the chat is open to you. So,
It was.
oh dear. I'm getting audio from the YouTube stream here. I'm very unprofessional. Pardon me. Okay, we are in business. So welcome, one and all. You're all very welcome to the December edition of the Seamus Ennis Arts Centre Zoom singing session. This is, as you may have guessed, our final one of the year. Just want to urge everybody to please be patient. I'm sure most of you have done these before, but if you haven't, it's sort of ever developing technology that we've gotten a bit more used to over the pandemic, and we get better each time, but there is invariably a hiccup or two along the way. Yeah, just as you can probably see, the way we have to run this for ease of use is to have everybody muted until such time as they're asked to sing. This is a bit totalitarian. The hosts are given all of the power in the muting and unmuting. Thank God, says some of you, but some don't like it so much. So yeah, we will unmute you when it is your turn to sing, and how we do that is we do our best to get a cross section of everybody in the room, and we'll do our best to send a little message to the singers who are up next, so that they can yeah, just get a small bit of a jump start. If for some reason you don't see the chat bar, please don't be alarmed. It's just unfortunately the way these things work. We can't exactly send a wink and a nod across the bar as in normal times. If you were here last month and didn't get a chance to sing, could you please hit the raise your hand button? We say this every month. We don't get to everybody typically each month, but if for some reason we don't get to you, we do prioritize you the following month. So anybody, like I say, here last month and didn't get a chance to sing, hit that raise your hand button. We do have a special guest this evening. Her name is Máire Ní Chéileachair. Agus is honor more doing ihe na velin. It's a great honor to have her with us this evening. Of course, I won't embarrass her too much by listing her accomplishments, but let's just say Gradam Kill, Kearney Rita, and many more besides. And she is, in my opinion, and I guess in the opinion of most, one of the finest traditional singers we have on the island. Yeah, just as we go along, you are welcome here to use the chat bar, get a bit of banter going. That goes for people out in Facebook land or YouTube land, as well as here in the Zoom meeting. Just have a chat about the songs, send some words of encouragement, and we'll get to mimic the feeling of being in a bar. I have three singers lined up to kick us off. The first is Bridget Delaney, who has kindly agreed to open us up. Next is Vincent O'Connor, and third is Genevieve Gallagher. So I'm going to unmute Bridget, if I can find her. There we go. Bridget. How are you, Bridget Delaney?
I'm grand, Dara. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for inviting me tonight.
No problem. Where are you at the moment?
I am in Kildare.
Kildare.
Yes.
And have you a song for us, more importantly?
I have. I tell you, as most of you probably know, I rarely, hardly ever sing an Irish song. And I think it's because my Irish is not so great. So I'm inclined to shy away from it a wee bit. But I just thought tonight, given the evening that's in it, and in honour of our very esteemed guest, Máire, I thought I'd have a go at an Irish song. So I'm going to sing Anna Coon for you tonight. And for anybody here like myself, whose Irish may not be the best, this is about a boating tragedy that happened in September 4th, 1828, I think it was, while there was a boat heading across to Galway to a fair, and there was about 30 people on board, but they had sheep on it as well. One of the sheep, apparently their hoof went through the bottom of the boat. It was just a small rowing boat. And one of the men on board decided maybe he'd stuff his coat into it to block the leak, but he did more harm than good. And the boat unfortunately sank. So this is the story of that tragedy, and this is Anna Coon. Máim Sheslante is father Vestrach der an feed foe Asan kun Morua Marak Gallagher Smarban is Pashta Tawek Shila Sul Arin and Rosa now this forest Narvio gone top and doing birds and no true Oklahoma gan gui gan basha nan bozaku asku bashul nakumor antinu Oscorna nina fishken shinta Herkulakin Skradu is queenu Askan Dina Kiru Isan cracked orain Vibu Kalioga Tiak tam over Ahina Crocker is that Urtango Gil Scorvately supposta Avia Dornevisaya Natlora Narwaran Fial Loskushilifta Agus Garut Lifta Jerigdar is Milan Crua Marisami Greatur Dog Shea Gargol Shillas Queen Gak Majun Lun Nidi Valoli Shaquir that Rory Mia Morvi Sakashlandua Nenny's Creek new one now run Garpo Moran is the Goverdolash Heg Anna Kun Sinead.
Nor glód é sin míle buíochas leat Bridget. Gorgeous stuff, yeah. Beautiful song from the great Mayo poet, I believe, Raftery, who contributed so much to our native song tradition, and no better start could we get than that. Great. Next up, we're going to have Vincent O'Connor. Vincent, I'm going to ask to unmute you. You have to accept my unmuting. We have Vincent in the house. Vincent, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you keeping?
Not too bad at all. Where are you calling from?
Clare.
From Clare. Fine stuff. And what have you got for us?
A good Mayo song, I hope.
In your own time.
Okay, thank you. 50 miles of a journey I travel by car, from the town of Belmullet up to Old Castle Bear, through Foxford, Bettybarra, where the time be my own, just to get me that bed in the old county home. When we arrived there, the night had been late. I was kindly admitted by a gent at the gate. He asked me my name and he spoke through a phone, just to get me that bed in the old county home. With the bed being secured, I took off my hat. I took off my clothes and jumped into a bed. A big nurse came in and she washed me to the bone. But you have to be clean for the old county home. When the night nurse comes in and the crack begins, she a bottle of brandy to quieten our whims. Or the crack is great and you're never alone. But there are lots of girly in this old county home. And shoeses and tulses, the barber comes in. He has a razor as sharp as a shoemaker's shin. He shave you and wash you clean to the bone, in case you might die in the old county home. 50 miles of a journey I travelled by car, from the town of Belmullet up to Old Castle Bear, through Foxford, Bettybarra, where the time be my own, just to get me that bed in the old county home. When I'm happy as Larry in this old county home. There you go.
Up the banner.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you, Vincent. Is this your first time joining us?
First time, yeah.
Well, you're welcome
Great.
back anytime. Great to have you.
Thank you.
All right. We will move over now to Genevieve Gallagher now. And Genevieve is coming all the way from just outside of Olympia, Washington, on the west coast of the United States. Genevieve, I've asked to unmute you. We have you. How are you, Genevieve?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Dara?
Not too bad at all. What time is it there?
Oh, it is 12:42.
Right. I didn't. The kind of hours I don't usually occupy. That's usually still sleeping time for me. I'd be a bit hoarse that time of the morning, but I've every faith in you. What are you going to sing for us?
Oh, I'm thinking about Strunach Will Me Erin, and this is one that I got from Lilith O'Leary. Strunach Will Me Erin, Snatcher Togu Itus Mohil. Na fwy frwach na binya Máire, na gan na tiw. Sin a shawin to sogan, ogan brown shaw is a tershajim. Sta main blian yeller is na boige, Gemeine galo farish. Blian wargas an tam shovi me mohoni graken skibble. Vi mogjach mora enu, exir heisti gorki. Vi mojjan war speak Legui war agus leiferin. Smatarin je gumdo warin verla manum gleigjaal naar heen blas. Maria se gjalak na Maria sangrium. Na marhedan lan mara van the quanti show sheer. Bear oliores, naive binte morebash. Na bolti veer moyan corpus kado waske gachrui. Yer harer in a parts ta taur mahasliat dilig no walje. Mosto ki gas mo vroga gas mo klokke ta de dache. Tamer skelen ser mo waring. Ta fwy go lasgym o'r sywalio. Gawyl roba crwa craba. Egol yn natch ma carwada. Sinead.
Well, Genevieve, it's true enough. Well, tussa in Aaron gone out a bit. Thanks very much for that, Genevieve. We are going to move now to the magic of the internet from the west coast to the east coast. I'm going to ask Alice Farrell Perlman to unmute. Alice, do we have you?
Whoa, that was quick.
I did message you, Alice, but I was worried you might have sent.
I was crocheting and I wasn't paying attention.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So is it too early for a holiday song?
Alice, okay?
Sorry?
I'm joking. You're calling from Queens, is it?
Yes, from Woodside.
Woodside, Queens, York. And what have you got for us, Alice?
Well, is it too early for a holiday song, would you say?
It's not too early for a holiday
song. It is not. All right, then. The first day after her Christmas, my true love and I had a fight. And so I chopped the pear tree down and burned it just for spite. And with the single cartridge, I shot that blasted partridge. My true love, my true love, my true love gave to me. The second day after Christmas, I pulled on the old rubber gloves and very gently wrung the necks of both the turtle doves. My true love, my true love, my true love gave to me. The third day after Christmas, my mother got the croup, and so I used the 3 French hens to make some chicken soup. The 4 calling birds were a big mistake, for their language was obscene. The 5 gold rings were completely fake, and they turned my fingers green. My true love, my true love, my true love gave to me. The 7th day after Christmas, the 6 laying geese wouldn't lay. And so I marched them quickly to the ASPCA. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten what the 7 calling birds do. The 7 calling birds, no, 7. Oh, and I packed them all up with the 8 ladies dancing. No, 9 ladies, 8 maids a milking, 9 ladies dancing, 10 lords a leaping, 11 pipers piping, and sent them all back to the ASPCA. And now I forgot the end of the song. Oh my God. Sinead.
Has there been a bit of mulled wine on tap in Queens this evening?
No, only iced tea.
I'm joking. I tell you what, Alice, there's not many people who could impress that much with half a song. That was really, really nice. Thank you very much.
Well, we all have to have one of those times where we totally go up, right?
It's every other day for me, so you're doing well by most people's standards. No worries. Okay, we're going to move over now to Mr. Porrick King. Porrick, I'm going to ask to unmute you. Do we have Porrick in the house? I know he's there. We have you. Porrick, how are you?
Good. Thanks for asking me.
No problem.
I'll try Dear Little Isle. There's a dear little isle in the western ocean. It's an island of purity, holy and grand. Its name fills its daughters and songs within motion when it's heard on the shores of far off distant lands. It's Ireland, my country, the birthplace of heroes, the home of the patriot, warrior and sage, of bards and of chieftains, whose names live in stories. May they live forever on history's page. I love every blade of grass green on your mountains, every leaf on your trees, every rock on your shore. I love your green valleys and murmuring fountains. I love you, Acushla, my own dear native land. You once were a proud and a glorious nation. Your name and your fame were known all over the world, until misfortune came o'er you and sad desolation. Your emerald banner in slavery lay unfurled. They tortured your children, despoiled your green bower. They tried to exterminate you long, long ago. But the Irish are somehow like wild creeping flowers. The faster you pluck them, the quicker they seem to grow. I love every blade of grass green on your mountains, every leaf on your trees, every rock on your shore. I love your green valleys and murmuring fountains. I love you, Acushla, my own dear native land. Sinead.
Lovely stuff, Porrick. Great, heartfelt rendition. Thank you so much. Dear, now I'm getting some background noise from Facebook here. Pardon with me. Or bear with me, rather. Anyway, we're going to move over now to Ms. Iona Ritchie. Iona, I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, Iona? Have you got a song for us?
I do, yeah. I learned this song from Elmer O'Dwyer, and it's called Murphy's Running Dog, and I hope you enjoy. My usual occupation is to turn and temper clay. Last year I turned to betting and I found it wouldn't pay. I ran me dog in Wexford Park and I ran him in Ballystraw. In the latter place he lost the race when he stopped to lick his paw. I ran him in Kilkenny and I ran him in Tralee. He ran in Enniscorthy and again in Carbery. He won a race in Thurles and he lost one in Athlone. He'd have run away with the race that day, but stopped to lick a bone. Bad luck to gambling, I'm in an awful fix. Out of £4, 6 and 8 pence, all I have is 1 and 6. We'll go down to Shays or Kenny's and we'll drink a glass of grog and go home around Dunbrody singing Murphy's a running dog. I ran me dog in Liverpool and I ran him in Listowel. In the Eden Dairy Mill Stakes he came home in a stroll. But on Roscommon's Cloddy sod no winning farm he found. For those western dogs wore cut-out clogs and they ran him in the ground. I ran me dog in Dublin on the 23rd of June, and as I brought him to the slips, he licked the magic spoon. Not even Johnson's motor car would outrace him that day, and we drank 50 pints of Guinness stout before we went away. Bad luck to gambling, I'm in an awful fix. Out of £4, 6 and 8 pence, all I have is 1 and 6. We'll go down to Shays or Kenny's and we'll drink a glass of grog and go home around Dunbrody singing Murphy's a running dog. Now you'll hear him yell a mile away when he is in the slips, and when the hare he sees, he shakes his knees and smacks his lips. I think Campile's about a mile, and if my dog don't lose, 'tis awful start to Matty Hearts, and then go on the booze. We will order 2.5 barrels to be tapped upon the bridge, and upon the wall we'll drink it all, for there we will not budge. We'll sing the praise of Wexford's craze with cherries, beer and grog, and we'll drown all care, I do declare, with Murphy's a running dog. Andy Barton, Biddy the nailer, 'tis many the race she ran in the wet nor slob. Now help me, Bob, 'tis the first my juggler won. And when Mr. Barr yoked up his car home from Wexford, we did jog. And every hair, I do declare, was picked up by my dog. I hope you're not offended by these verses written here, for I long to see the committee and stewards do well next year. Bring your true love till Kilmarnock, boys, and if my greyhound wins, we'll dance all night till broad daylight in Costello's of Salt Mills. Bad luck to gambling, I'm in an awful fix. Out of £4, 6 and 8 pence, all I have is 1 and 6. We'll go down to Shays or Kenny's and we'll drink a glass of grog and go home around on Brody singing Murphy's running dog. Thank you.
Ho ho! Great stuff, Iona. Thanks so much. Okay, now we shall move on to Mr. Paul Tobin. Paul, I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Okay, can you hear me, Darren?
We have you, Paul. How are you?
Lovely, good, thanks.
Indeed.
I'll try this one. Espenach dorina hina eranelani will meown Margamarliam lagasiao nablian eramalio tau Mar sound vichan rilagan kjol piedagas launer chlar Islam ben charen velod a bhíoch a líana gan bhreaun de bar. Is chuoin leach glas an óir bhui, seas dóidín se de dhearcas a hú. Is nar jas de chimrogin, spur o jas de legan soul. Ruig chan o'r wy, stacholin gaffited lo. Is nach trua nach lamoin fos de sin, borlinge egdal. Is airod samoirach gan splachus le cwn y day. Máire ní amhinin san áitse gybrach brach feig ma hill. Maar de sé de chora fuin lang, de chraigis de vijf mei. Is de hier nach ook aan bos, atá in andam mascarum lei. Is he ché fort large tá tarach ag bra le cóir. Chun gohúir tar sáile trawa siar raun an jór. Ag ma harde is ma vainter ga cos for ag golim yeng. Is an isho reid sa har salje Keid slán leat a ram No.
Lovely stuff, Paul. Thanks so much. Okay, I have asked Annie Hughes to sing the next song. Annie, I'm going to ask to unmute you. Annie, we have you. I did ask you. Had you not your eye in the chat? It was a bit late into that song, to be fair. How are you? We'll give you a second to catch your breath. Are you well?
Yeah, I'm really good. How are you?
Yeah. No, I'm not bad, but as usual, Annie, I've had to drag you in to represent the Dubs. We never get a look in.
No, we don't, do we? It's myself and yourself. That's good enough.
Yeah, great stuff. What are you going to sing for us?
Right, I better sit up. I was just reclining there. I'll sing Cuirtháile Nua.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. In a Dublin accent as well. La Dar Iris Machin Eg Drill Dom Meu Cuirtháile Nua Keadegi Knocknally Egol Harum Is Baroya Sealagan Nua Fia Groupon Niskinly Non Allow Nosh Nocta Mine Dronay Cause a story not true Alat Mukasa Maris Laglu Bagadaga Tunei Tochakin Das Glowicha Sanglanum August Biman Go Wegnak Lamei Is a choki Monali Air Quartum Purim bogin hakbilis avel. Now kumi kalinda sagrialavum. Isa yuki se chakamni. Isa yuki naklem. Agawain Maria this diamonds. She Nelly get Lord Cree. Cain tinta sola sound love. Cain tinta summer sham Cree. Cain tinta samahula velata. Isa lukti deril shilani. Tomisha timbrona glafada. Termuinche gur harigurua. Tonu koni worthwhile. Akroner onte nag min krina. Isnak ni nag mar iskor. Is misha mehena bikintok. Nog nekig neyin amfui nagor. Oh, wine shack, Cluiagas, Goldie, Ockneel Guira, Gumlart Lane's move. Is Gershulin, Shoprik, the Neherum. Leshamberlat, Oigurthwal, Yanua.
Míle buíochas leat Annie. Glóide, passionate, agus níos fear im lás nach clia. Gorgeous stuff. Thanks very much. Okay, next we're going to go over to Pamela, I believe in San Francisco. Pamela, I'm going to ask to unmute you. Do we have Pamela? We have asked to unmute. Is she there? We have you. Pamela, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for asking me.
No problem.
I'm going to sing a seasonal song that I have from the singing of Jean Ritchie. When Joseph were an old man, and an old man were he courted Virgin Mary, the Queen of Galilee. He courted Virgin Mary, the Queen of Galilee. When Mary and Joseph went walking one day, they saw berries and cherries so bright and so gay. They saw berries and cherries so bright and so gay. Then out spoke young Mary, so meek and so mild, "Go gather me some cherries, for I am with child. Go gather me some cherries, for I am with child." Then in anger flew Joseph, and in anger flew he. "Let the father of the baby gather cherries for thee. Let the father of the baby gather cherries for thee. Then out spoke the baby Jesus from in his mother's womb. Bow down, you tall branches, let my mother have some. Bow down, you tall branches, let my mother have some. Then the tallest high branches bowed down to the ground, and Mary gathered cherries while Joseph stood around. And Mary gathered cherries while Joseph stood around. Then Joseph took Mary all on his right knee. Come tell me, pretty baby, when your birthday will be. Come tell me, pretty baby, when your birthday will be. On the 6th day of January, my birthday shall be, and the stars and the elements will tremble with glee. The stars and the elements shall tremble with glee. Jenny?
Lovely stuff, Pamela. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move over now to Michael O'Leary. Michael, I'm going to ask to unmute you. We have you. Michael, how are you?
Hi, Dara. Good. I'm here in New England in Massachusetts, coastal Massachusetts. We're getting blasted by a nor'easter right now, and it made me think of this. It's actually a lullaby. It's a poem, setting of a poem by Seamus O'Sullivan. His title is Lullaby.
Lovely.
Husheen, the herons are crying, away in the rain and the sleet, flying and flying and flying, with never a rest to their feet. But warm in your cover let nestle, the wee bird till the dawn of the day, nor dream of the wild wings that wrestle in the night and the rain and the gray. Husheen, the herons are crying, away in the rain and the sleet, flying and flying and flying, with never a rest to their feet. Come, sweetheart, the bright ones would bring you by the magical meadows and streams. With the light of their dreaming they build you a house on the hill of your dreams. Husheen, the herons are crying, away in the rain and the sleet, flying and flying and flying, with never a rest to their feet. But you stir in your sleep and you murmur, as though the wild rain in the grey, wet hills with the winds ever blowing, had driven your dreams away. Husheen, the herons are crying, away in the rain and the sleet, flying and flying and flying, with never a rest to their feet. But dearer the wind in its crying, and the secrets the wet hills hold, than the goldenest place they could find you, in the heart of a country of gold. Husheen, the herons are crying, away in the rain and the sleet, flying and flying and flying, with never a rest to their feet. Husheen, husheen, husheen.
Oh, lovely stuff, Michael. Michael, but I have to say, you did nearly send us all to sleep with that beautiful rendition. So in future, I'll ask you to keep those songs to the end of the night, but we'll let you off on this occasion. It was
Maybe
that
too early
beautiful.
for that.
No worries. Thank you so much, Michael. Okay, the next singer I sent a message to, I'm not sure if she has seen it. Oh, she has. Great. Is Miss Rita Gallagher. Rita, I've asked to unmute you, and we have you. Rita, return from the dizzying heights of the guest spot last month, is now in the cheap seats, as humble as ever. Rita, what do you have for us?
I'm going to sing The Banks of the Clyde.
Great stuff.
As I went out a walking one pleasant summer's evening, down by the banks of a clear winding tide, in ambush I lay as two lovers were talking, and clearly the streams they did gently glide. A young sailor standing by, he appeared as a stranger, and he said, "Gentle fair one, I have come from afar, so do not be offended, nor consider it a danger, for to walk by the side of a jolly young tar." Well, indeed then, kind sir, 'tis the truth I will tell you, for the clothes that you wear, they are dear to my heart. They are like my young William, so my love so dearly, who's now crossing the ocean to some foreign part. And what if your William, whom you love so dearly, is now joined in a wedlock in some foreign clime? Well, if that be the case, then you have lost him forever. So give to me your hand, love, and say you'll be mine. Well, the flowers may decay in the coldest stormy weather, but spring's gentle breezes, they will them renew. And this heart from my bosom no other will sever. So 'tis fare thee well, young man, I must bid you adieu. Well, he paused and he gazed with his eyes full of pleasure in his former disguise. He could no longer hide, till at length he exclaimed with full joy being the measure, "Is this smile of Jane I have left on the Clyde. If 'tis Jane, look at me, for you seem not to know me. Then out of his pocket a small bill he drew, saying, here's £50 as a token I give you, since you in my absence have proved loyal and true. And since that kind fortune has brought us together, 'tis tomorrow, darling, I will make you my bride. And you and I, true lovers, will never be parted. I will wed with my Jane upon the banks of the Clyde. Sinead?
My God, Rita, the only word for that is Northern Soul. That was just fabulous. Fabulous altogether. Thank you so much. Okay, I have queued up my friend Michael Steen to sing the next song, though I'm not entirely sure he saw. Oh, he seems like he's there, yes. Michael, I've asked to unmute you. How are you, Mr. Steen?
Hey, man. I'm great. How are you today?
Michael informed me that he's working a shift this evening, but he agreed to grace us with a song before he heads off. What are you going to sing for us, Michael?
I've pieced together two little jigs songs as I want to do, and I'll give these a lash.
Gorgeous.
All right, let's see. Thanks for asking me to sing. An bohra huig, gatrani. An bohra huig, son congra doig, an bohra huig, gatrani. An bohra huig, an bohra huig, gatrani. An bohra huig, son congra doig, an bohra huig, gatrani. Esmal en nor prati ros, esmal en nor en teamla, esmal en nor en anachud fiolis banyan na mos en iha, an bohra huig, an bohra huig, gatrani, an bohra huig, son congra doig, an bohra huig, gatrali, de yarachas yas, an nora, de yarachas yas, an glungadin talts, an kali der fad Korach, an bohra huig, an bohra huig, gatrali, an bohra huig, son congra doig, an bohra huig, gatrali, karig de chassis, karig de chassis, karig de chas a chianin, karig de chas de chrias de charpis, bemin galua idrali, an bohra huig, an bohra huig, gatrali, an bohra huig, son congra doig, an bohra huig, gatrali. Down the green fields we'll jig it, and down the green fields we'll jig it along. Down the green fields we'll jig it, and down the green fields we'll jig it along. When you go mowing, you'll get her, yes. When you go mowing, you'll get a young lass. When you go mowing, you'll get her, yes. When you go mowing, you'll get a young lass. Under the stairs you'll find her, yes. Under the stairs you'll find a young lass. Under the stairs you'll find her, yes. Under the stairs you'll find a young lass. Rum diddly diddly dum dee rum diddly diddly rum diddly diddly dum. Out in the kitchen you'll find her, yes. Out in the kitchen you'll find a young lass. Out in the kitchen you'll find her, yes. Out in the kitchen you'll find a young lass. Come from the cooking, we'll step it, yes. Come from the cooking, we'll step it along. Come from the cooking, we'll step it, yes. Come from the cooking, we'll step it along. Down the green fields we'll jig it, and down the green fields we'll jig it along. Down the green fields we'll jig we'll jig it, and down the green fields we'll jig it along. Sinead,
Good
thanks,
heavens,
everybody.
Michael. That was wonderful. Between yourself and Genevieve, they must have something in the water in the Pacific Northwest out there. Oh, he's muted now. Well, I trust your comeback would have been witty, but the window was past, Michael. I'm sorry. Thanks for that, and try not to work too hard later on. Okay, we're going to go next to Fergus Carey. Fergus, I've asked to unmute you. We have you, Fergus. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well, enjoying the night so far. It's great.
Yeah. And what are you going to sing for us?
I'll try a song called Mrs. Limerick, Kerry and Clare. I've sung it a few times, but it's been a while since I've sung it, so I'll give it a go. You noble heroes of Paddy's nation, draw near a while until I relate of a conversation between three girls the other night had a great debate. They rose no rows nor no noisy voices, they spoke quite civil as I. They drew down heroes from their three counties to know who'd boast of their history. There was one from Limerick, and one from Kerry, and another one from the County Clare. And as these three girls sat down together, they could see all round them from everywhere. Miss Limerick spoke, saying, I am the oldest, you must excuse me to make so free. Sure, the Limerick people were never beaten, they fought out brave for the world to see. Miss Clare made answer, saying, you said that handsome, but now it's my turn for to begin. But for us in Clare, in days past over, would e'er a bell in your churches ring? We have O'Connell, that great liberator, at the present time trying to set us free. And while grass is growing and the water's flowing, he's here in Ennis for you all to see. Miss Kerry blushed, and she spoke quite hasty, is that my son you are speaking of? Sure we have O'Connell, that noble hero from that grand old place they call Derrynan, where he got birth and good education until he was ready to meet the king. And in 29 he did blindfold them, and emancipation to us did bring. Miss Clare replied, and deeply sighed, he came from Kerry, I don't deny. But he did cross over the Shannon waters, and the men of Clare gave him reply. Wise the women who fought courageous, and in 28 they gave him the chair. But being a Catholic and the son of Grania, in the House of Commons they thought him queer. Miss Kerry said, I can boast of one thing, and it is well known the world wide, that I reared a son who fought for Ireland, and for to free her he sorely tried. We have Killarney for all its beauty, that all the strangers they come to view. You may talk of Wicklow and other parts of Ireland, is the pride of the 32. Miss Limerick spoke, saying 'tis all a joke, 'tis not to quarrel that we came here. That man you speak of, the great liberator, sure we have his statue as well as ye. Likewise there's Parnell with all his followers, at the present time trying to set us free. I have 1 6pence, we'll have 3 half-ones, and we'll say no more about history.
Lovely stuff, Fergus. It's like an early Irish version of the Rose of Tralee or something.
It probably is.
Thanks a million. Okay, Beisha Shu Ashtag, Tamish Kundul go Halabin, Igor Oran Gaelach o Van Merchanach. We're going to Scotland to get an Irish song from an American woman, but a fine singer. She is indeed. Virginia, I've asked to unmute you. You have to accept my unmuting. We have you. Call to it, Virginia.
Calculor. Well, I don't know whether to sing an American song in Scotland or a Scottish song in the west coast of America or wherever, but anyway, here I'm going to sing a song from the west coast of Ireland. And I sang it years and years ago, and I haven't sung it for a while, so I'm hoping that it comes off all right. Small when John Brutus Dorwa Shane Bochalin Bon Darlom Shalathalwa Ní Chéileachair Fis Mawar Scoil me Fuirwem Ach dan yoin Farfail She Mugragal Snow Haim Shahar Chiefs Be me brisum can Croix Bol the air Sna me to glassage in swans. O Jairo in Arje, Mar Jairo, Anyala Harkwan, no Gushinin Mohi. Shall she slepan Store lite warma skrifta O she's a go bal koshakwan Engan galina baga queen Will your 3 lassen grua Maris Chin 3 Stan me to far le alwa Aklah mich no chabri Sien de yiber ter chorban yirwai. Savloya skeif Kurim ke de ban of the lat go lalwan. Ta me go faganyeg le de vin stada hahi wadwan is ramel ritselais Churin géile se mána chuir curá. Ysgol sínte mé gré, si me chéad seir go ban roi. Sta kralin syng ardyn was yn diliwr blabwy. Snor y lagam symolafer nach y landir nach y blesgym chri. Shenyaring spas nardri Allah son was ach en a fogi nyawan say I love ban Sinna bhfuil.
Glóide Tásúlam nach Blaiskin Duchri Renos. Thanks very much. Okay, we're going to move over back to the West Coast of the United States now to get a song from Andy the Doorbum. Andy, I've asked to unmute you. We have you. Andy, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm not bad. Are you still in LA?
Still in LA, yep. Just walked back down.
Oh God. Oh God, we're just out of it now, but by all projections, we'll be right back in it in January. Yeah. You just sort of to take what moments you can out of it. Have you got a song for us?
Yeah, I do have one. I've been singing it a little bit lately. It's called "Bang 'Em in the Wild Boar."
Great stuff.
From Over Your Way originally, but this would be the version or one that's sung in the mountains in West Virginia and Western Pennsylvania, where I was born. So
great. And just a little forewarning, we're going to go to our special guest just after this song. So that's a warning to our special guest to prepare herself and to all of you to prepare yourself for the beauty that's about to ensue. In your own time, Andy.
Thank you for having me. They are a wild boar in these woods, diddle-dee, diddle-dee. They are a wild boar in these woods, diddle-dee. They are a wild boar in these woods. He'll eat your flesh and drink your blood. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. Old Bangham made him a wooden gun, diddle-dee, diddle-dee. Old Bangham made him a wooden gun, diddle-dee. Old Bangham made him a wooden gun to shoot that wild boar as he run. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. Then Bangham got him a butcher knife, diddle-dee, diddle-dee. Then Bangham got him a butcher knife, diddle-dee. Then Bangham got him a butcher knife and swore to take that wild boar's life. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. He tracked that wild boar to his den, diddle-dee, diddle-dee. He tracked that wild boar to his den, diddle-dee. He tracked that wild boar to his den, and he found the bones of 1,000 men. come away. Quaddle down, Quanzio. He riled that horn up to his mouth, dill-o-dee, dill-o-dee. He riled that horn up to his mouth, dill-o-dee. He riled that horn up to his mouth. He blew it east and west and south. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. That wild boar came at such a dash, dill-o-dee, dill-o-dee. That wild boar came at such a dash, dill-o-dee. That wild boar came at such a dash, it splintered hickory, oak, and ash. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. Then Bangham raised his wooden gun, dill-o-dee, dill-o-dee. Then Bangham raised his wooden gun, dill-o-dee. Then Bangham raised his wooden gun and shot that wild boar as he run. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. Then Bangham raised his butcher knife, dill-o-dee, dill-o-dee. Then Bangham raised his butcher knife, dill-o-dee. Then Bangham raised his butcher knife, right there he took that wild boar's life. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. He met a witch wife on the bridge, dill-o-dee, dill-o-dee. He met a witch wife on the bridge, dill-o-dee. He met a witch wife on the bridge. She said, "You rogue, you killed my pig. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio." Into his locks the witch wife flew, dill-o-dee, dill-o-dee. Into his locks the witch wife flew, dill-o-dee. Into his locks the witch wife flew, swore to his soul he was torn in two. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. He split the witch wife on the chin, dill-o-dee, dill-o-dee. He split the witch wife on the chin, dill-o-dee. He split the witch wife on the chin, then on his way returned again. Come away, quaddle down, Quanzio. They ain't no in these woods. Diddle-o-dee, diddle-o-dee. They ain't no wild boar in these woods. Diddle-o-dee. They ain't no wild boar in these woods. And that witch wife's been done in for good. Come away, quaddle down, Guanzio.
That was fabulous, Andy. I've missed you very much, my friend. Please don't be a stranger.
I'll try my best. Thank you.
Great stuff. Okay, well, Lanny Madrig, we'll go ahead with our guest for the evening, Tugan Shay. Pleasure mordom on Vansha a chur chun cíne. It gives me great pleasure to put forward this wonderful, wonderful singer. Máire Ní Chéileachair is her name. I'm sure she'll be well known to all of you. One of the finest exponents of the singing of the Muscree Gaeltacht and beyond. So Currigi Falche War Riv Máire Ní Chéileachair. War, I'm going to ask to unmute you, should I say? And we have you.
Okay, thanks very much, and thanks for those kind words, MacDarren. If I live up to them, that's the thing now.
No pressure.
And it is an honour to be here among all the wonderful singers and singing that I've heard up to now. Tos nóig me le ógánig an chúl chréimhigh. I'll talk in Irish and in English. It's I heard it from the singing of Eilish Ní Chéileachair first, from Cooley, and tá sé navchutiant. It is unusual in that it's one of the few songs which originated originally from an English song, The Unquiet Grave, and it's the version Ascoilge of it. The woman, and there are other versions, of course, Time Sheenter the Homa and Kathleen and Cool Cravig. The man is distraught, talking to his loved one who is in the grave. Máire is her name, and it sounds from what she says that the parents didn't want them to be together, and I don't know what happened, but she's dead anyway, and he's speaking, there's a conversation between the two of them, and she's saying and he's saying, do you remember the night we were here, and do you remember the night we were out in the woods, and so on, and he's stretched on her grave. Okay. Ógánig chúl chréimhigh caden te vere gomíonn tú, bhuileann tú gan chéile nó na tainneoir rálaíonn tú. Ó táim se gan chéile agus sa muinear sealaím se, cé hí sin gáir hí nó an éinge beon tírí. An áil nach naíonn tú mé féinnig a chéad searc mo chríse, scór mé cailín chúil chréimhigh a bhíoh taobh leat san ihe. Ní anim tú in éachar agus ní lein fiúchtad ní ann, mar sin de bhíl créime ga gréine goscuithe. Son Queen lad, son Ihud da vishe gwynoig, Sgwr hine small of chwt, Sgwr o sgwish arm barog. Da hines a sísle agus am chrin a ref en ruchod. Agus dan mar golwder gor chwal mar am isiog. Son Queen lad, son Ihud da vis Augustusa, Ferulur na cremo agus liha cor Krishna. Malai vad himpol agus winting shagutsa. Is lag a hele san Ihud gasquil hoch argaman. Ber ma valacht chon ma var agus go brach chon mahar. Nor leogdom to a fossa nor a vis was some vahig. Nor is toile ma winter go mi mer mo labwig. Da homa shavim she o ihe gomaden. Bien mo winter plelium brare go sagurt. Deveng rolet avoide gustu marov. Bosko shintu agus bayintu varhing. Moirinan legirig tu hisin san talov. Sinead, that's that one. All gone and gone full craving. I'll change things a small bit now, the tempo. I'll do a song, the other of Ron Darbenim Ficha Vadarua, which means a fox hunt. August three Chunte Gesh down. There are 3 counties in it. This is all supposed to have happened in one day, a fox hunt. There's Limerick, you'll hear it, Limina. There's Waterford, because there's Clashamore, which is in Waterford, and there's the fox, I'm afraid, was caught in Slievluchra in Kerry, and there are people from Cork at it. Anyway, on Rod Nachati and Tana, Nile and Nidus, Eguinin, the Nanina Ushla. It's a bit unusual in that the gentry are mentioned, and not in a hostile way, you know, which they're kind of a fond way that they were at this fox hunt. Anyhow. Labra iving here and Clema, the Vimor Ushlan the Dragoon te aun. The chuirmar ar ngair go crín na chéile agus siúd amach an madar agus lennamar go léiris an rangadoodle little lamb. Didri I'd little lamb, rangadoodle little I'd lamb, didri Lá nulog beag cuireag deire leis a síras, the scuile mar ar ngair go manam nach maireach. Amach tres na garvch nic vitarach ar a rain, sa hoig chun liminish a hook sé, I going san rangadoodle little lamb, didri I'd little lamb, rangadoodle little I'd lamb, didri Bhí Mr. Wolf an ó bhain éile, gus margan rattler in Jäger sé her. O ma chraumha bhí hedges agus Granger is Captain Bull is gan snada lenar san rangadoodle little lamb, didri I'd little lamb, rangadoodle little I'd lamb, didri Bhí na puirí go cheap a chuoin is Arthur Russell ón Monty Rown. Bhí na fuiti go bheann trí ann is Roddy Arthur is a langolí ann san rangadoodle little lamb, didri I'd little lamb, rangadoodle little I'd lamb, didri Bhí gair haig Wallace ó Charrigan Écon, is Cúhian Barrett in Jäger sé se. Gair hir na Massey gus gair na Mulherach is gair Lord Kingston ó Vallevishdale us an rangadoodle little lamb, didri I'd little lamb, rangadoodle little I'd lamb, didri Nuair a chumar ar a gala bhí a necce clash a móire, dúmpig sé a gala mar a stadadar na huisle. A chasa gás a bharga bhí na gair ag teachsós leis is talí ho ag náide sé snáf tríd a mór vers an rangadoodle little lamb, didri I'd little lamb, rangadoodle little I'd lamb, didri Da haring sé leis ins na hard a huig sing, chun áirtí an óin is chun calla drum a móire. A níos cap a chuoin is tríráid na las a móra, gur chuir mar a dal a bheith mar slíomh luachras an rangadoodle little lamb, didri I'd little lamb, rangadoodle little I'd lamb, didri So, sin, Fiach Vadru, actually in law Nullag Beag is mentioned in it, so it's a bit timely, all right. Small Christmas anyway, this fox hunt took place. Can't think me Countess Berlinish, and there's a woman in the company here who sings it too. Rita Gallagher sings it as well, and I got it from, I'd say both of us got it from Paddy Berry, whose song was mentioned earlier, and years ago, and I just loved it because it's a woman's point of view. You know, a lot of the songs are men from the men are speaking, but this one is a woman's song. Agus tis County Carlow, and it seems to have been in around the Spanish Carlist Wars of the 1830s, and it was composed by John Shield from County Armagh, the hero from Bunny Carlow. I'm a poor gentle maiden in sad lamentation, and love is the cause of my pain. For the sake of a true love I pined in vexation, like Cupid my poor heart is slain. Young Charles O'Neill is the lad I adore, he's the fairest and rarest round Ireland's green shore. But he's gone to proud Spain, where the loud cannons roar, my hero from Bunny Carlow. My love, he was 6 feet, and no clockwork was nater. he was well formed in every degree. The poplar tree, it never grew straighter than he who is now far from me. His hair was like gold, and his cheeks rosy red, and his eyes were like diamonds that rolled in his head. But alas, I'm afraid my poor Charles is dead, my hero from Bonnie Carlo. One day as we strolled along the banks of the Barrow, while enjoying all nature's sweet charms, the press gang arrived, and how great was my sorrow when they tore my sweetheart from my arms. My lover, he fought like a tiger at bay. I shall never forget his great courage that day. But alas, they overpowered him and dragged him away, my hero from Bonnie Carlo. They dragged him on board and they sailed down the river, and the earth did resound with my cries. Like one in a fever, in truth I did shiver, as the salt tears poured down from my eyes. On the cold quarter deck where my lover did stand, he beckoned to me with his lily white hand. He spoke a few words I could not understand, my hero from Bonnie Carlo. Sad news soon arrived, he was mortally wounded, and that by a cruel cannonball. When I heard the sad tidings, I became dumbfounded, and now on grim death I do call. Oh, come now and hasten and finish my strife. You have severed the threads of my young tender life, and I'd rather be dead, since I cannot be the wife of my hero from Bonnie Carlo. Sinead, that's that one, my hero from Bonnie Carlo, or the hero from Bonnie Carlo. I'll finish this set so with another of Rana Scaling, Ceann topic. Máireach gur benim do on kosher, and I'm sure some of you know it. It's a wedding feast, and na rudí granúra a hála, nor of either a wedding feast of the tinker's wedding. And the first thing that happened was the pot where the porter was in fell, and it all spilled out, and they had no drink. So that was a complete, disaster anyway. And then I think there's some verses missing, but it is interesting that down along in the song, they asked the parish priest to marry the couple, and he tells them to, go away home and to build a house and not be out on the street and out on the roads. And actually, they answer him back and say, "You shouldn't be saying that at all. We're going to stay here." So, like, that's it was kind of interesting from that point of view. And he agrees to marry them in the end, anyway. The priest does. I learned it from Máire Ní Chéileachair from Cooley, and as I say, tis around the country as well. It was in schools, I think. Da glois an bahalach tostelach is patin rasteler chordeke dirig lannach an koshere choniad the chur na starhev a hachta vile tri vor turkis an patin vi kangel her chordeke the hit John can a horn a lick agus shoe the chud land le fana. Sun tidy itty iddy dum, sun tidy itty iddy dum, sun tidy itty iddy dum, sun tidy itty arrow. Da luig an farkel och kran an sun is dúirt tam kracht a go jole sin. Nuair a bhí an canna gan tóniges can brenn sa bhailech an bhlách. Da bhfuil was a go cráit an sun is dúirt tam kracht a go brach le sin. Cuaird an neistear a táimen is gan chlú gan enim gan árthach. Sun tidy itty iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy arrow. Vi fuem an nasa mar cheolacha is dríadar praisce da all mar funch. Ri ra ag bacig le mór te seanas na chortha bhíon tairí an náde. Vi síle hlach mar chócaracha is fiolaigh ar lebig da rós dar bhur. Go bhaifi ballathe drótar he ó bheith ina crecin le ráthe. Sun tidy itty iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy arrow. The glúis an gasar a seol gomach is ní raibh capal ná cóisteacha, ach fa ragach an póstartha is iad a dulga Killarney. Da bhfuil an sagart sa ródampa is dóibh do bhenig go córach gléic. Teigi a bhaile gus tógig tig gus cuirig bhór gapil ar stabla. Sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy arrow. Go daine ahar ní cór the chin is ní dóig an lacham the chórlanis. Tenam cos fallen nó pórsche lingus verhamid knagger a landet. The ghlach sé farrags bo bhór a flick ní raiad cos fallen ná pórsche liv. Tor chum vor gallis vor lom a fir gus pósa der volug na sráidiad. Don't know you're enough for the last time now. Sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy dum, sun tidy iddy arrow. Sinead, Gormahagov.
Cluster Curfa. They've heard on the, there was a chorus heard all around the world there, even if they were everybody muted. That was absolutely wonderful. Clushimid O Warda and this Jenny Sinead. We'll hear from Máire again later on in the evening. Thank you very much for that. We'll just take a short break now, guys. 5 minutes. If you need to stretch the legs, refill your drink, or head to the bathroom, please do. I'll give you the ability to unmute yourselves, have a wee chat if you like, but bear in mind the world is watching. See you in a few.
It was absolutely fabulous, Máire.
Thanks.
It was beautiful. Wonderful.
Thanks, Bridget. Thank you very much. Tis lovely,
Oh,
lovely
mighty
to be
stuff.
here. But thank you.
Lín mar is avished.
Hailín chuna santo.
Bhí sin hací an ar fád bháir.
Gur maithagad Virginia.
Bhí mu just an seo a dása líne.
Gur maithagad.
Agus na gáir. There were so many dogs in that one.
That's right, there were.
There were at least 24 dogs, and they all had and owners, and they were running around, and rabbits out. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's lovely to be here. Thank you. I'll fill up my cup of herbal tea.
Oh.
You need to go for the stronger stuff, Máire. You'll have to have another one of this.
It's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely session altogether. I was never here. It is lovely.
I know it doesn't replace the real thing, but it's close.
Oh, I know, but it's still. Oh no, it's still nice. Like it is, yeah.
Lovely.
I must check up on it. It is once a month, isn't it here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, these sessions have one advantage in that people can come from everywhere.
That's right too. Yeah.
I've seen people that I know I wouldn't have seen in the last several years.
Me too. Yeah.
The sound quality isn't great, and you'd really love to be able to sort of have a chat, a bit more of a chat than we get time for. But gosh, no, it's been fabulous for the people who've been working so hard to keep these things going. It's
That's
amazing.
right. Yeah, the organisers and yeah, absolutely. I'll fill up the cup now.
Just to let you know, folks, I'm just going to send a little nudge to get the first couple of singers lined up. If you could keep an eye on the chat, that would be great. All right, folks, we'll get back into it. Thanks for your patience. Seems to be a bit of a running theme with these sessions. I often will send a few messages around to get someone to sing the first song of the second half, and I invariably always get a no. Would you please ask me later? So I'm going to have to step into the fold. I apologize in advance for this. But after me, I will get Nora Rhodes to sing, and then after that, Lynn Phipps, if she wouldn't mind. Not really sure if this is a seasonal song. It does mention snow at some point, so better than nothing. Actually, let me just adjust my volume accordingly. Yeah. Come, piper, play the shaskin reel, or else the lasses on the heather. Mary, lay aside your wheel, and we will dance once more together. At fair and pattern oft before, of reels and jigs we tripped full many, but ne'er again this Londell floor will feel the foot of Donald Kenny. Softly she rose and took his hand. She softly glided through the measure, and while clustering round the village band, looked half in sorrow, half in pleasure. Warm blessings flowed from every lip, in which ceased the dancer's airy motion. O blessed Virgin, guide the ship which bears bold Donal o'er the ocean. Oh, God be with you all, he sighed, as down his face the bright tears were streaming. God guard you well, Aroon, they cried, upon the strange path you are going. And so full his breast he scarce could speak, the burning grasp the stretched hands a-taking. He pressed a kiss on every cheek, and sobbed as if his heart was breaking. Boys, don't forget me when I'm gone, for sake of all the days passed over, the days you spent on heath and bawn, with Donal Rua, the rattling rover. Mary and Graw, your soft brown eye has willed my fate, he whispered lowly, but another holds thy heart goodbye. Heaven grant ye both its blessings holy. A kiss upon the brow of snow, a rush across the moonlit meadows, whose bloom-clad hazels trembling slow, the mossy boring wrapped in shadows. Away o'er Tolly's bounding rills, and far across the Inny River, one cheer on Carrick's rocky hill, and Donal Kenny's a-gone forever. The breezes whistle through the sails, o'er Galway Bay the ship was heaving, and smothered groans and bursting wails told all the grief and pain of leaving. But one from among that exiled band of parting sorrow gave no token, for still was his breath and cold his hand. Donal Kenny's heart 'twas broken. Agus sinna bhfuil. All right, wasn't it? Yes, Nora Roseberry. It can be a bit discombobulating to go back to pushing buttons after you sing. Nora, I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Hello.
Nora, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. That was absolutely incredible, Dara.
Thank you very much. Are you finished up with school yet, or you're still studying away?
Well, it's technically my gap year, so I have some independent studies, so that's sort of more flexible.
Great stuff. Great stuff. What are you going to sing for us?
Well, I brought Young Emily. So this is an Appalachian ballad, and I learned it from the singing of Sheila K. Adams. And so I've taken some classes with her, like at Augusta and programs like that over the summer. But this I actually got from a recording of hers that was made at Berea College in the 70s. So it's still at the Berea College archives. And so this is her version. Young Emily was a fair maid. She loved the driver boy who drove in the main for some gold to gain. Way down in the lowlands low. Oh, my father owns a public house all on yon riverside. Go ye, and enter in, and there this night abide. But please don't tell them nothing, don't ever let them know that your name it is young Edmund, who drove in the lowlands low. But young Edmund fell to drinking, and then fell into bed. Little did he know that a sword that night would part his neck and head. Young Emily arose in the morning, while putting on her clothes, said, I'll go look for my driver boy, who drove in the lowlands low. Oh, father, dearest father, you've got to let me know what's happened to my driver boy, who drove in the lowlands low. Oh, daughter, dearest daughter, don't you speak so loud and free, for his gold is all for us to gain, and his body's in the sea. Oh, father, cruel father, you'll die a public show for the murdering of my driver boy, who drove in the lowlands low. See the coach on yonder mountain, it's moving to and fro. It reminds me of my driver boy, who drove in the lowlands low. Oh, my true love is laying in the ocean, the fish swims o'er his breast, his body's in a gentle motion, but I pray that his soul's at rest. Thank you.
Lovely, Nora. Always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Okay, we shall move over now to Lynn Phipps. Lynn, I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Morning time.
We have you.
So, I do like a bhí sé áran an nálig. So, hánig an dúlach. So, the dark month dúlach is here. Time for some Christmas songs. So, I'm going to sing a song. I've put the words in the chat box. It's a Gaelic song sung to the tune Bunessan, and not translated into English, but the song, the tune is known through Morning Has Broken, but it's originally a Gaelic tune. Okay, here we go. Lena Vanaya and Lena Mari Rikexen Staba Rinando Hanik Danasach Guling Nanache Sanyetanarab Vies Gadlu Gather this lanaban Ekeriren and Dalavan and the Gereneches Garav is Anabamorn Skiarkusum Falaviat Fasiat Anan Analiaks and Jalava Sharaks and Wars Habion and Santuan Haniku Fuskalak Ira Salstuama Luashendus Ene Kuntruyok Kruyaren Bluai Yeri Jesus Nebuayanus Lena Vanaya Magaris and Vayan Sahayanat Bemianan Sul She Aria Grak Seir Uram Horsha Sana Anarav Vias Gadlu Shine.
Lovely stuff, Lynn. The Gaels are alive and well, and well represented, I must say.
Kicking.
Okay. I did send Deirdre Bialo Padden a request to sing next. I'm not sure if she saw it, but I've asked to unmute you, Deirdre. We have you. How are you, Deirdre?
Yes, I'm okay. A little caught by surprise, but it's okay.
It's okay. Consummate professional. I know I can rely on you, Deirdre.
Okay, I think some of you have heard me sing this recently, but it feels like such an appropriate song to sing for this time of year and during the pandemic. Come fill the cup, let's drink about, this night will merry be, for friendship and for harmony. Likewise, my comrades three, to meet once more some other night, my secret joy reveal, for now I must stray so far away, till fortune turns the wheel. It's not from gold nor courtly clothes I'll make my estimate of man, but when I meet a friend in need, to stretch out a helping hand, to him I'll drink, for him I'll fight, to him my mind reveal, and friends will be whatever way blind fortune turns the wheel. But it's some of my pretended friends, if friends you may them call, proof false and true their backs on me, when mine was at the wall. Yet in a glass I'll drink them her health, you'll find I wish them well, if for my heart fate on them awaits, when fortune turns the wheel. and it's all the handsome fellow, it's him I'll justly blame. When dark misfortune frowned on me, he denied he knew my name. But sorrow and remorse are past, to him I'll never kneel, till sweethearts find both true and kind, when fortune turns the wheel. Oh, you dewy hills of Caledonia, likewise sweet Crocodile, where friendship binds the firmest ties and love tells the sweetest tale. It's now I must rise and go, kind friends. You know I wish you well, that we all may meet some other night, when fortune turns the wheel.
Lovely stuff, Deirdre. And I look forward to the day when fortune does indeed turn the wheel. Great stuff. Okay, and next we're going to hear from Seamus Shields. Seamus, I've asked to unmute you. We have you. How are you, Seamus?
I'm great, thanks, Dara.
And fair play to you getting into Liberty Hall there. I don't know if they're letting many in these days.
No, it's a virtual pleasure. This is the Cush Liffey Bar in Liberty Hall. So I thought I'd sing a song about the Liffey from the uncle of a singer and a songwriter that is one of your favourites, Dara. I know you're very fond of Dominic Behan. So this is the song written by Dominic's uncle, Padda Carney, who of course also wrote the Irish national anthem, the Soldier's Song, which he manages to plug in the course of this song. 'Twas down by Anna Liffey, my love, and I did stray, where in the good old slushy mud the seagulls sport and play. We got the whiff of Ray and Chips, and Mary softly sighed, "Oh, John, come along for a 1-and-1 down by the Liffey side." And up to Rabbi Artie's together we did go, and the rapture there that filled our hearts no poet e'er could know. We started eating 1-and-1s, and Mary softly sighed, "Oh, I'd live forever eating chips down by the Liffey side." Then down along Be Georgia Street the loving pairs to view, while Mary swanked it like a queen in a skirt of royal blue. Her hat was lately turned, and her blouse was newly dyed. You could not match her amber locks down by the Liffey side. And on her old melodeon how sweetly she could play, "Goodbye and don't sigh, and rule Britannia." But when she turned Sinn Feiner, I nearly burst with pride to hear her sing the soldier's song down by the Liffey side. On Sunday morning to Meath Street together we will go, and up to Father Murphy there we both will make our vow. We'll join our hands in wedlock bands, and soon we'll be outside, for a whole afternoon on our honeymoon down by the Liffey side. And we'll have little children, and we'll rear them neat and clean, to shout up the Republic and sing about Sinn Féin, for to do what their old fellas did, who England's power defied. Send them off with guns against the Saxon Huns down by the Liffey side. Send them off with guns against the Saxon Huns down by the Liffey side. Up the Dubs.
Up the Dubs. You took the words right out of my mouth, Seamus. Finally, thank God. I'm not getting a look in these days. Great stuff. Okay, well, I had queued up Elaine from Bonnie, Scotland to sing next, but she told me she had the gas men in her house who were putting in a new boiler, which I think is the best excuse I've ever heard to get out of singing a song. So we'll get to her later. And instead, to represent Bonnie, Scotland, I've asked Edmund Duffy. Well, I messaged him. He mightn't have seen it, but I think he's able. Edmund, I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Hello there.
How are you?
Oh, by the way, I'm from Wales. I'm from Wales.
I swear I knew that.
And for that, I tell you what, we're all singing the Irish tonight. I was going to sing an Irish one, but I thought, why not sing a Welsh one? So I'll sing this song. It's a minor song, it is. And I'll sing the first verse in Welsh to the song called Callan Lan. It's about a happy heart that sings through the day and sings through the night. So when you're happy, you sing. That's basically it. And then the miners then, they put their own words to the hymn tune. So I'll sing the first verse in Welsh and then I'll sing the miners verse in English. Nid on gofyn bywyd moethus a'r byd na'r felai man. Gofyn rwyf yn calon hapus, calon honest, calon lan. Calon lan yn llawn daioni, teg ac dyrnad lili glos. Dim ond calon lan allgani, cani'r dydd a chani'r nos. Calon lan yn llawn daioni, teg ac dyrnad lili glos. Dim ond calon lan allgani, cani'r dydd a chani'r nos. A miner's life is like a sailor's board a ship to cross the waves. Every day his life's in danger, still he ventures being brave. Watch the rocks, they're falling daily. Careless miners always fail. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eyes upon the scales. Union miners stand together. Do not heed the owner's tales. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eyes upon the scales. You've been docked and docked again, boys. You've been loading 2 for 1. What have you to show for working till your mining days are done? Worn out boots and worn out miners, lungs of stone and children pale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eyes upon the scales. Union miners stand together, do not heed the owner's tales. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eyes upon the scales. In conclusion, bear in memory, keep this password in your hearts. God provides for every worker when in union they combine. Stand up now and link together. Victory, for you prevail. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scales. Union miners stand together, do not heed the owner's tales. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Sinead?
Well, Edmund, I tell you what, you sang that so well, I could have sworn you were, in fact, Scottish. But anyway. Great stuff, Edmund. Thanks so much, and you're welcome back anytime. Okay. Thomas Condol, Arash, Gadeen E. Specialty. We're going to go back to our special guest, Máire Ní Chéileachair, for the next 20 minutes or so. Máire, I have asked to unmute you. And we have you.
Okay, thanks.
Floor is yours.
All right, thanks very much. I'll start this half, or this second half, with a song called Coshaghirhig, or Unchul Daire, and it's in praise of an area, the Gaira. I don't know if anyone knows County Cork, but it is southwest of Macroom, just a boggy, there are trees there. It's a wooded place, but very watery, and a lot of people go there walking and that, but it's in praise of that place. And it was collected by Martin Freeman in 1914, and so I don't know whether it's linked, it's at least the 19th century anyway, even if it is before that, but it is praising the area anyhow, and the trees there and the birds singing, and the poet loves the place anyhow. And so it's Coshaghirhig, and the first few notes are like the Munster version of Roisin Dove. They were the first few notes in Mishera, the film, like da 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 dum. Anyway, and I think that song did influence Sean O'Reilly, when he was composing that. I heard it from the singing of Jenny Mikey O'Sullivan. He's the man that I heard it from first. Coshaghirhig is brahinering, is all narrowing. Mill is kervachtar her yegwiv, agus ul crown. Chloshaghine canten naun, a bheoch milon maul kno buis querha, Bharibh Gael gaun na fás go saoin. Nuair a ghabhann siad ráma cara son deoring riag. Is tangavach gach caiise ce le ceoglanniamh. Bí an bar a glas bhaisinaibh agus pór brair agus canting sil mar a cuilde ceonainn. Is tón sir bíon ceoltha ann agus safring dé. Ag fear I bhógan ar a bhil dóibh I dige tar na gléach. Ní le mórtas den tort san a verid lo an sweach a den of board le forsa trí de gúil ré. Bí an náfiring ag sagart bhálinn aige sé. Tír ní tailibhán go ceanasach is bra a réim. Tá tarm sa rísach san nán Fescar loid ghair agus sin an bara a bherim fast a ghuit a chúl ré. Do hiúlí sa cúigi agus dúhinéil. San go mala agus go ciúis loch lein. Ní acusa heistil liv ná hiúl go léir an bhaile có. Is bra hangeach liom ná an chúl ré. Sinné an count sin. As I say, it was the Gaira, which is on the road between Macroom and Ballingeary, anyone who knows that road, tá sé an sin. Anis can mé count tapig Sean a bhríste lethir agus an count seo tá Sean an son agus tá sé ag muíomh as a bhríste lethir. He's boasting about his leather breeches and all the amorous successes he's had because of it. And bhí sé scoil, like there was a version in schools with 5 verses, and then we came across this version, Sheila Lewis came across this version, a longer version in a collection of songs by Máire Ní Chéileachair from Inshamore, Cooley, and it goes into a lot more detail about the the successes because of the breeches, and in the end, he got a great thought, a great house, and everything that came with this woman whom he wooed anyway with the breeches. And he asks in the end, where did it come from? And the answer was that it came from a ram's skin. So that's why it was so lucky. Anyhow, never mind. So that's the story of it. So there's a lot of verses in it. I hope I'll remember it now. Anyway. And I heard Donegal Lynchig, Lord Mercenham, singing it first, actually. Nor a viset dus ma hels me gairi so some lanne vi orm gan gachenge bamische pattern kenne. Nor a viseg dals na de give the henge mask na varriv sneer voor dem fenne jeg san pale machem regge. Is me blienes fehe dyshen en ore jenning gaske nir gach negers kem dom chondal de lem har gatte. De hoging Chéileachair le nert mar jeg ondalov bedort gach sper van nog. Dieled vriste laher, son terre lere le, son terre lere laddi, terre lere le, sjane vriste laher. Wieselar nog smedil keisjes banov de kasse gorm lady, sie kan nog oles crackers. Norch nek sé go hefen met de hoogjen wil da bannet, is chusje sim a soul, is shape ma vriste laher. Tra no nien bjog de noch is mische tacht of valle, ke chnukke goempon goinge ach en goeljen is I mare. De grid Chéileam go the is the laur Chéileam go knaste, is chushy sim niv a soul, it doin ma vriste laher, son terre lere le, son terre lere laddi, terre lere le, sjane vriste laher. Da huggus crochel of ye, nor forus fen and taffer, Homer gotien tarnes vi marigol and son gummadden. She do chilar na varach gur masse men a haher, sna skarhuch she go brach, le shan of vriste laher, gluische haher, is a maher all orger foidern valje, forug misches Máire, dig a taverne la big. Nor agamer an notch in the homer go tiggan tagger, tis forus balles thought, de varm of vriste laher, son terre lere le, son terre lere laddi, terre lere le, sjane vriste laher. Vi en ding an ailecht, dohen rino markers, moro slenne harte, goloristach har balle. Saggert na paroste, an braher is an tasbog, gachinge egolsleinte, chane vriste laher. Nor je hummer no hen is dolemer nakving, Scheinuk so is a kjol, de chane vriste laher. De rinkes fen le moires is rovra volen tallov, gaching ik skjung og gaire le fuem of vriste laher, son terre lere le, son terre lere laddi, terre lere le, sjane vriste laher. Verse der noch. Dierhig siad go léir dím cá bhúras a bríste lathir, Dúirt sa leo go béasach sin smut de chrechan ratha. Buiaspa net a bhásta bhórm is a flappa, sní ra bhélocht sa téilir ach a oscad a bheith ag crappa. San téire léir a lé, san téire léir a ledí, téire léir a lé, seán a bhríste lethir. Sin é sin an count sin. Sean of Rita Leher. I'll do another two if that's okay. I'll do Diana me Bruch na Carige Boine. Tis bilingual, macaronic, versa oscoiling, agus versa spirla. And it comes from Beara, Cúnda Chorcaí, the Beara Peninsula in Cork, that's where it came from. And Eilish Ní Chéileachair told me, because it was her brother Diarmid who started singing, who sang that, Diarmid O'Sullivan o Chule, and he got it in the RT archive, it seems. And that's where and it has come into the tradition now because loads of people are singing it, but Diarmidine a bhiachana ar dúis. And so who was a wonderful singer, and I'll humbly try it here. The English verses correspond roughly to the Irish verses, all right. Nur Iris fener madin gomach evada mach savor ke hin chumach stormach ristech she fen gafonta maar de wie she should just darug is down is a laken maar na rosie nor a gash gusí godlú lemchrí sé dúirt sí camíon tú id chonaí. As I roamed out far to view the plains one summer's morning early, who should I spy but a pretty fair maid, and she dressed up so neatly. Her cherry cheeks and ruby lips, her eyes would dazzle the daisies when I took this fair maid by the hand. She said, young man, go easy. Mar is troud or misha go fonta my chéad, mar is mata is egum horsen. Is mó park riamh the rouse of fen, gan me vetain na leonta. Maar de winning fair in nuchter knik, da jen hing cruach noes da keen. The rinking let a storm och vroeg na carige bine. I am a ploughboy, the seed for to sow, and that is well known to my neighbours. 'Tis many's the field that I have ploughed, and that without much labour. For I'd plough and sow, both reap and mow, and gather it into your barn. I'd sweep the floor and I'd dance with you on the banks of Corrigan. The lahing falling the cheiroig, Murmioch al nach lehed kianoige. Damioch is a gum me folium, gone out to fein the barlium. O glesig suasa oigirlen, is gloislam hen har sale, is trau femid na kunta dain, o vroch na karige baine. I would spread my mantle for you, young man, if 'twas only the breath of a farthing. If I thought your mind was as good as your word, 'tis you, of course, I'd rather. So wake, arise, my labouring boy, and come with me in the morning, and we will plough the briny waves from the banks of Corrigan. Shin Shin, that's that one. That's Broch na Corrigan, yeah. So I'll finish up with the one in English, actually, because it's to do with Santi. And gur míle maithagah as an gur a bheithan seo a nocht. Tis an honour to be here. And I'm not plumosing saying that. It is absolutely lovely to be here and to be among all the people here. And I'll sing Connig me an Tauran seo, and I'll tell you, about 20 years ago I was listening to the radio, and you know, when I still have it actually, where you can press the button for the cassette, you know, to record something, and this came on the radio, and I pressed the button because 'twas Ian Lee from the archive with a song by Thomas O'Donnell from Achill singing My Christmas Toys, and I just thought it was lovely. And I went along, then I listened to it and I got the words and I started trying to learn it and to sing it and so on, and I just think it's a lovely song. And I found out since anyhow from Sean McConamara from Achill that a man called Patrick Tunney from County Mayo, this is now, composed it. He wrote loads of songs, and his grandson has brought out a book of his compositions in the last year or two. Liam Friel and Tanamatar. So anyway, My Christmas Toys. Tá cúnda bhuio ag immer tomorrow. So they're playing tomorrow. Look at Roshi in there. So this is a County Mayo song. Now I sing it around this time every year, so I hope I'll remember it. I'll do my best with it anyway. And again, Gurmila Mahagov. We used to call him Santi. People call him Santa Claus now, but we used to call him Santi. Anyway, at a time, tá sé bunathe in Aum nó nach raibh eiléisiún, I suppose, when there was no electricity. Anyhow. Fond memories often bring me back to the days long, long ago, when first I was a barefoot boy in beautiful Mayo. No care nor sorrow did I share, my heart was young and light, when first I heard about Santa Claus and the toys for Christmas night. Days and weeks just came and went, and little then I knew about nature's ways, the bloom of spring or the autumn falling dew. The cot where I was reared into me was heavenly bright, where first I heard about Santa and the toys for Christmas night. The shortest days of winter then to me seemed very long. While resting by the fireside I'd hear the cricket's song, but the song would not allure me nor the Yule logs flaming bright. Sure my thoughts were all on Santa and the toys for Christmas night. With the approach of Christmas and the falling of the snow, we decorated the cottage, we'd have berries in a row, with the ivy and the holly and the candles burning bright. I would talk and talk about Santa and the toys for Christmas night. Mammy then she'd say to me, now Paddy, don't be bold, go say your prayers and go to bed and do what you are told. Go wash your hands and feet, she'd say, and have them neat and white, or Santy'll bring you nothing when he comes on Christmas night. You know that he'll be coming with a bag full of toys, but I'm told he'll only bring them to the good obedient boys. When he is in the chimney corner, if everything is right, he'll surely leave a doll for you this holy Christmas night. Daddy then he'd smile at me, his face lit up with joy, saying, did you write to Santy and tell him bring a toy? He'll be coming down the chimney soon when we'll put out the light, for the snow must have delayed him with the toys for Christmas night. Without a moan or murmur, I'd quietly steal to bed, regardless of the comfort of a pillow for my head. I'd be listening there for hours, all wrapped in keen delight, and hoping I'd hear Santa with the toys for Christmas night. Oh, early next morning I'd heave a sigh and yawn, still hoping, ever hoping, oh, long, long before the dawn. Or in my wild excitement I'd shout, Daddy, get a light, and see did Santa come to me with toys for Christmas night. When I'd see the stocking full and a doll beside the wall, barefooted I would prance about, oh how I'd roar and bawl. On holy Christmas morning it was my sole delight to cheer and cheer for Santa and the toys for Christmas night. Long, long ago I bid goodbye to all those happy days, to face the dire fortunes o'er the world's weary ways. Oh, did I miss my angel's crown when my heart was young and light, When Santa was in the world to me with toys for Christmas night. Sinead.
Furfa. Oh, thank you so much for that, Máire. Just fabulous. And
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank
what
you.
What a treat and an exemplary guest you've been. Do you know
Thank you, McDara.
that one reminded me of. I remember years ago there was a video going around YouTube. They put a young lad from Cork City on the radio because he was a real character. He might have only been 3 or 4, you know. And they bring him in around Christmas time, and the idea is they're going to surprise him by bringing out Santa Claus midway through the interview. And and they're asking him, is he looking forward to Christmas? Yada, yada. And they bring in Santa Claus, and he just looks up and goes, "Well, Santy," and continues the interview. It was absolutely brilliant. Thanks so much, Máire. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, we're going to get a song now from Lily Keeney. Lily, I'm going to unmute you. How are you, Lily?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. Remind us where you're calling from. This isn't your first time here.
No, I'm from Fermanagh.
I'm from Fermanagh. Okay. And have you have a song for us?
Yep.
In your own time.
The song's called The Cabin with the Roses Round the Door. Oh, the time is fading fast, and I'm thinking of the past as I sit here with my darling by my side. She's an old and wrinkled dim, but I love her just the same as the sunny day. She came to be my bride. I think I see her now with that smile upon her brow. When she vowed she'd be mine forevermore, I'd no land nor pastures wide, but I took her home with pride to that cabin with the roses round the door. Light-hearted did I toil, and I found that grateful soil. Give me back for my work 100-fold. I'd enough and I could spare for the poor a tiny share. So I envied not the planter and his gold. Still we had to bear our grief, resignation brought relief. It was hard until the bitterness was o'er, for we both were sorely tried when our little darling died in the cabin with the roses round the door. But still we journey on, all the boys and girls are gone to the city's midst, the bustle and the strife, and they've left us here alone in this cabin that's our home, where patiently we wait the close of life. To each other, one and all, some sweet stories we recall of the dear little ones that's gone before. And we're happy, though we know that soon we too must go from the cabin with the roses round the door.
Absolutely fabulous, Lily. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to head over now to Alberta. Alberta Laughlin. I don't exactly know where Alberta's based. I believe in the US somewhere. She can tell us. Alberta, I've asked to unmute you. We have you.
Hello.
How are you, Alberta?
I'm good, thanks very much. I'm from Indianapolis,
Great.
where we specialize in corn. Really, hogs and corn, really, is our part of the country. So thanks very much. This is a song about unrequited love.
Gorgeous. In your own time.
My mind, it is uneasy for a dear lass that lives near. For love, it has ensnared me. I never am let alone. For love, it has ensnared me, leaving my heart to reel. She's the fairest in this nation, that dear lass I do esteem. Oh, the lips of my dear darling would charm a heart of steel. Each morning and each evening, the pains of her love I feel. Her cheeks are like the roses that bloom in the month of June, and her lips are like the coral, the model of sweet nature's bloom. Not wealth or great estate, dear darling, that makes me mourn. Your cattle or land I crave not, but you alone. Come, give me your hand in earnest, don't leave me with deep disdain. For one kind word from your lips would ease me of all my pain. But when I asked your parents, my suit they at once denied. For now the case is altered, and you refuse to be my bride. Oh, it's little you know the dangers attendant on perjury. All the vows and protestations you daily have made to me. Oh, my mind, it is uneasy for a dear lass that lives near home. For love, it has ensnared me. I never am let alone. For love, it has ensnared me, leaving my heart to reel. She's the fairest in this nation that fearless I do esteem. Thank you.
Fabulous, Alberta. Thank you very much. And keep mowing that corn. Or is it reaping the corn? Mowing the corn?
It's reaping, dear.
Reaping the corn. Well, thank you. Keep doing that and keep singing. Great stuff. Okay, we're going to get a song now from Brian O. Tumoin. Brian, I'm going to ask to unmute you. We have you, Brian. How are you?
Good, thanks, Dara. Do you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. This is a song, the air of which Seamus Ennis actually was very fond of playing on the pipes back in the day. Tá bógam slíomh agus táim le seamh na díg ó chailis má cíl a nuachar. Tá seolas a siar in scacaid na ngabhain an ghrian agad éon síos tróna. Snor ag am héin an an it's a night na mian morúan titinam húl sra chora. Sa rígil na god go forar mo chúis mar sin van go von land of roi me. And o glana she on van go the bara an van boyesha goira. A grúig mar snáachta sa píp mar an ala sa caum shang shingalden. Níl ógán a cailca ó bhlá clia go galia. No should go to me vara. Na fuil ag trial sig taring terach of dana jasa. Ag snú leis an van gav holdin. Tá ban agam svúan tror ban a line is ban o real shorsha. Ban a lubi bui a hoshkak melan a cree. Ban is gavila bole. In gan irla ta tain duk di a krok. Egiri me oila posa. Ach da vain chain morau. Def na hoga jasa on down. She on van go on lound the king. Sinead.
Glóis, Bhriain, thanks very much. Okay, sadly, folks, we are getting towards the end of the night. We're just going to have two more songs. If, I say this every month, but if for some reason we didn't get to you, please don't take it personally. Come along next time and make us aware that you didn't sing, and we will make a priority of you. Next up, I'm going to ask Bree Kelly. Bree, I've asked to unmute you. How are you, Bree?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Remind us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from New York City. I actually, this one I'm going to sing because Edmund's song earlier actually made me think of it. And it's a
Scottish
favorite
song, isn't it?
No, but there's a connection to his song. to those who venture on the sea, who ply their trade upon the deep. They sail within faith's continents and pray their gentle soul to keep. And should I be beset by gales, let me not drink the bitterest cup. And should the wind and rain prevail, let not the deep swallow me up. Let not the deep swallow me up. When the call for rescue comes from those in peril on the sea, no matter how the storms may roll, we cannot turn our heads away. And should I be beset by gales, let me not drink the bitterest cup. And should the wind and rain prevail, let not the deep swallow me up. Let not the deep swallow me up. We must go where we are called, through wind and rain, through wave and foam. It's not for glory nor for gold. We bring poor sailors safely home. And should I be beset by gales, let me not drink the bitterest cup. And should the wind and wave prevail, let not the deep swallow me up. Let not the deep swallow me up. I am a leaf upon the wind. I am a man in love with life. I am a fear like any man to venture against the ocean's strife. And should I be beset by gales, let me not drink the bitterest cup. And should the wind and rain prevail, let not the deep swallow me up. Let not the deep swallow me up.
Wonderful singing, Brie, and with singing that good, the deep shall not swallow us up for the next little while in any case. Thank you so much. Okay, folks, well, we are just about there. And before we say goodnight, just to remind people, as usual, every month, there is a donate link that the Seamus Ennis Arts Centre will post in the chat sections of the YouTube stream, the Facebook stream, and in the chat here. They also have a variety of Christmas gifts, vouchers and whatever that are available if you are in a position to support the arts and to support an independent arts centre such as them. Thank you very much for being with us again, folks. It's the end of the year now, and it feels, feels like we've built a little family here. There's an amazing loyalty month by month, and I always look so forward to seeing you all. Sorry, Elaine's getting a bit eager there. and yeah, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. And just before we do say goodnight, let's have one more virtual round of applause for our wonderful guest, the inimitable Máire Ní Chéileachair. Now, Elaine, you may sing us out.
Sorry, I hadn't realised I'd unmuted myself there. A bit torn now because it's quite a melancholy song to finish on, but it's about valuing good friends and being wary of the ones that are a bit fair weather. It's called Nobody Kens You. Are you doing out well? Are you thriving, my man? Be thankful to fortune for all that she sends ye. You'll have plenty of friends, aye, to offer their hand. When you need another countenance, nobody kens ye. But wait ye a while till the tide takes a turn, and a war with the ebb drift It's the favours she'll lend ye, called friendship will then leave you lonely to mourn. When you need other friendship, then nobody kens ye, nobody kens ye, nobody kens ye. When you need other friendship, then nobody kens ye. The crony was stuck like a bird to your side, and vowed with his heart's dying blood to befriend ye. A 5-guinea note man will part ye as wide as if oceans and deserts were lying atween ye. Nobody kens ye, nobody kens ye, as if oceans and deserts were lying between ye. It's the siller that does it, the siller, it's the siller that breaks ye and marks ye and mends ye. When your pockets are trim and nae wabbe the loom, then tak ye my word for it, nobody kens ye, nobody kens ye, nobody kens ye. Then tak ye my word for it, nobody kens ye. But think nae I mean that all mankind are sae. It's the butterfly friends that misfortune should fear aye. There are friends worth the name, God sent they were me. While the colder the blast, aye the closer draw near ye. They ken ye, they ken ye. While the colder the blast, aye the closer draw near ye. The friends wha can tell us our faults to our face, but aye fear foes in our absence defend us. Let's me on such hearts, o life's pack, there the ace. Wha storm to disown us when nobody kens us. Nobody's ken ye, nobody's ken ye. Wha storm to disown us when nobody kens us. Say, are you doing all right? Are you thriving, my man? Be thankful to fortune for all that she sends ye. You'll hae plenty of friends aye to offer their hand when you need another countenance. Nobody kens ye. Thanks.
Fabulous, fabulous stuff, Elaine. And let's hope that with your new gas, your new gas boiler put in, it might be as warm as Kenya before long. Sorry, that was a terrible joke. I'll ask everybody to unmute and say fare thee well, and I'll give you the ability to unmute yourselves. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next year.
Sarah for organising it. Thanks very much. Good night.
Bye,
Go hall.
Bye, Bernie.
Absolutely go hall.
Thank Máire.
Bye, Máire.
Great night. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, McDara. Thank you, Maura.
Alberta.
Have a lovely night, everybody.
Thanks very